Good morning. It is 10 o'clock and welcome to Lincoln Ware Live. Of course, we're here every Sunday morning from 10 until 11 right here on It's 38. And as usual, we've got a great show lined up for you today. First part of the show, we've got Andrew Wiggers from the Cincinnati Tap Project for UNICEF. Talk about how $1 for some tap water can help people around the world who may not have as clean of water as we have here in Cincinnati. And on the second half of the show, we've got Andrew Glenn, Director of the Public Service Department for the City of Cincinnati, responsible for cleaning the snow off the streets when it snows, responsible for picking up your garbage every week, responsible for the call center to the city. So I'm sure you've got a lot of questions for Andrew Glenn on the second half of the show. So you want to stick around. Who decides which residential streets get the snow removal first? All that and more. We'll answer those questions for you on the second half of the show. But right now with me, Andrew Wiggers with the Cincinnati Tap Project for UNICEF. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now tell us about this Cincinnati Tap Project. Now what happens with that?
Well, essentially it's a great opportunity for people of Cincinnati to really give back to people who don't have clean drinking water all over the world. The deal is essentially we've gone out and we've recruited over 90 restaurants in Cincinnati, everything from your Dewey's Pizza to your Skylines to your Jeff Ruby's restaurants to your Jean Robert restaurants. They've all signed on board, and this week, starting today, we're asking you guys to go out to dinner and have a dinner that you would normally have like any other week, but pay $1 extra for the tap water that you usually get for free.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are the waitresses aware of this? Will they tell people, we're collecting money for the Cincinnati Tap Project, would you give an extra $1 for your tap water? Are they telling people this?
They are, and actually what we've done is UNICEF has come up with a packet that they send out to all the different restaurants. And this packet includes a sticker that goes on the outside of the restaurants, as well as a little card that they'll have at their seat when they sit down. And it's kind of a postcard. It's got an image on the front of a child who's obviously been deprived and not had the clean drinking water that we're trying to provide them. And then on the back, it tells a little bit about it. And they simply just ask if you'd like to, at the end of your dinner, we're participating in the Cincinnati Tap Project, just donate $1, and this is going to go to UNICEF, and we're hoping that we have a really good campaign.
All right, because some places around the world, their tap water, their water, I mean, is just, of course, you know, you've been around the country, you don't drink the water. Right. They tell you that, and that's true, because a lot of the drinking water around the world is not as clean as you would get it here. And some kids are drinking water with muddy water. I mean, just because they don't have any water at all.
Yeah, it's terrible. And the thing is, there's a lot of diseases and bacteria that are in the water, and so this is an opportunity to give back. And your dollar really can make a difference, because $1 provides clean drinking water for one child for 40 days. So, I mean, what's $1? It's like an iTunes song, right? Oh. Or it's like parking downtown for like an hour. But here, you have an opportunity to really make a difference with that dollar. And it's something that the tap water that we drink when we go out to dinner is something we typically get for free. So now here's an opportunity really to make something of it. And UNICEF has gone out and they're investing in new technologies, and they've come up with a couple different ways that they can clean the water, whether it's tablets.
I want to talk about that too. We need to take a quick break, and we'll come right back and talk about how they clean water now. You know, you can just take some tablets and drop it in there, and it's drinkable. Yep, we'll talk about that when we return to Lincoln Ware Live right here on It's 38. We'll take a break, and we'll come right back to join you in just a moment. And we're back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program, and I've got Andrew Wiggers with us from the Cincinnati Tap Project for UNICEF. And before the break, we were talking about how they clean water nowadays. I know they're working on something at Procter & Gamble with tablets, and you just drop it in water and it purifies the water. What's up with that?
Yeah, there's a couple different ways they go about doing this. They've invested in new technologies. Obviously, the tablets are one of the most talked about. They simply drop these tablets in the water, and it can purify the water. Now, if you want more information about like all the specific ways that UNICEF does this, I can definitely get that to you. UNICEF is coming up with it's everything from like getting people on the ground to actually be out there to work with people so that they're providing the water, to the solar power energy, to these tablets. It's pretty amazing the technology that they're coming up with to provide clean drinking water.
And they're just going into all these third world countries and
yeah, I mean, the TAP project actually benefits. It's not just the third world countries, but it's everywhere in the world where people do not have clean drinking water. You'd be kind of surprised of all the different areas.
I guess it could happen here.
It could happen
somewhere
here,
in the United States.
Luckily, Cincinnati is not
well,
one of the
not here,
areas.
but I'm saying somewhere in the United States, they might not have clean drinking water. I mean, you just never know. How can people get in touch with you? Is there a website?
Yeah, no, there definitely is. It's tapcincy.org, and that's with a Y. And on there, we've got a list of all the restaurants that are participating, some more information about the TAP project, and how they can go out and help participate and help move this cause forward. So yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like a great idea, and I'm glad the restaurants bought into it.
Oh yeah.
And you say you got over 100 restaurants that's in on this.
Yeah, we've got over 90 right now that have signed up. Empower Media Marketing has gone out, and we've had a lot of our people in our company volunteer to go out there, and we've recruited these restaurants, and we've got everything from Skyline to to Jean Robert. So it's a big list, and the Skylines, if we have all the Skylines that we're thinking we're going to probably have somewhere around 130 or 140 restaurants.
Wow.
So.
And if everybody just donates $1 for their tap water, and it seems like you collect quite a bit because people love to eat out in this town.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure it'll be a great effort there. Once again, that's the Cincinnati Tap Project for UNICEF. And want to go to one call right quick? Oh, okay, let's go to who's that? Richie.
Gina.
Regina.
Hello, Lincoln. How are you and your guests today?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored, sir. I didn't catch the beginning of your show, but what I'm hearing, he's talking about unclean water.
Yes.
Well, with this latest news that we're getting with all the medical pills and whatnot that's left in our drinking water, shouldn't charity begin at home?
Well,
I mean, you're laughing, but what about the fish that
it's just
the
like
hormones are being changed because of medication, that's left in our drinking water?
Well, and they said it's sort of like dropping an aspirin in a swimming pool, the amount of those medicines.
No, it's deeper than that. If it's enough to cause a male fish to take on female hormones, come on, Lincoln. I'm not buying that aspirin in a swimming pool lie, because that's what it is. Now, my question again is shouldn't charity begin at home with all these drugs in our drinking water? Now, I'm not stupid enough to pay for bottled water because I know it's all from the same place. But shouldn't charity begin at home? And with that, I'm going to get off here.
Thanks for your call. But we've got the technology, here. They don't. I mean, I'd still rather drink our water here with a little bit of whatever they find in it here, high blood pressure medicine and all that other stuff. But, than to drink some of the water you find in some of these places around the world. Yeah,
the bacteria and diseases that are in these in the water that people are drinking in third world countries are very, very serious. Not saying that this is not serious. It's just people are dying. I mean, this is the second largest killer in children under 5 all across the world. So we're trying to do exactly what she's saying. We're trying to purify the water. We're trying to clean the water to provide clean drinking water. And like I said, it's not just the third world countries. It's all over the world where people need the water. So.
All right, let's go to Tasha. Tasha, good morning.
Good morning. I was calling in regards to they came to Springfield Township like 2 times last month and cut our water off, and our water still have like a chemical taste.
But what now?
They was in Springfield Township like maybe a month ago, twice to cut our water off. And our water had like a nasty taste to it.
Okay.
And we just want to know, why do they keep coming back and why do our water still taste the same?
Okay, that will be a question for maybe the health department of the county, Hamilton County Health Department. But we want to urge everybody from today, starts today, ends when? Saturday?
Yeah, ends the 22nd.
Ends on Saturday. If you're at a restaurant, make sure you ask if they're participating in the Cincinnati Tap Project for UNICEF. If they are, give that $1 donation and
let's raise some money. Yeah.
You better believe. Now throw your website up. Will you throw that website up once again on the screen so people can get that? And once again, Andrew Wiggers from the Cincinnati Tap Project for UNICEF. Get out there, donate that money to help people get some clean water around the world.
Great.
Hey, thank you, Andrew, for joining me this morning. We appreciate it.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
This is a great project.
Yeah.
A great project.
Yeah.
I've been to some of those countries when I wouldn't even think about drinking the water.
Yeah, no, definitely.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back with Andrew Glenn. who is the head of the Cincinnati Public Service Department, cleaning the streets, collecting the garbage, handling the phone center. All those questions will be answered when we return in a moment. And we are back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. And as promised, Andrew Glenn, head of the Public Service Department here in the city of Cincinnati. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Now, you guys, what does the Public Service Department cover? You handle snow removal?
Snow removal, trash removal, dead animal removal, buildings, and the call center for the city of Cincinnati.
Okay. When you say buildings, you mean?
All the city buildings.
Okay,
City Hall, Centennial Hall.
Okay. Now, one question I know everybody wants to know, how do you decide which residential streets to hit first? Of course, you know, the old myth out there is that they go to the rich part of town and clean their streets first, then they go and clean out the poor people's street. Is that true?
No, it's not. What we basically do is that we are divided up in about 6 districts, and each district is responsible for their priority ones. Priority ones are the streets that travel into the city. And the other areas that we focus on during a major storm are your hospitals, your fire stations, all your emergency-related areas. Then we go to our priority 2s, which is our residential. And each district is required to go to their residential streets and begin to work. So each district starts on their residential streets at the same time.
Okay, they start at the same. Now, how do you call to make sure, I guess they have a list of streets they hit, but a lot of people like to call to make sure you're going to hit their streets, you know what I mean? They say, and then it's never quick enough for them, you know. I know sometimes it takes a little while before you work your way to some of those side streets. What does a person do to call you to maybe, you know, speed up the process, if that can be done, or what? How does that work?
Well, if you have a major ice condition, or you're on a hillside, or we have a truck breakdown, you can call our call center. That's 591-6000. That's 591-6000. And that'll get you into a dispatcher, and that'll put you into priority.
Okay. All right, the phone number here is 381-3838 if you've got questions on snow removal, trash removal, the call center, anything of that nature. Give us a call right here at 381-3838 or 651-3838. We've got the Director of Public Services for the City of Cincinnati, Mr. Andrew Glenn, with us this morning to answer all of those questions and put an end to a lot of the myths that are floating around out there about garbage removal, snow removal, and everything else. Let's start it off. Let's go to Pat. Pat, good morning.
Good morning. How you all doing?
Pretty good.
Good. I'd like to ask your guest a question. Why is it every year after one big snow, they'll say we don't have any more salt, or the salt is low? We haven't had 3 good snows this year, and they come on the news about the salt may be slacking off. We don't have a lot. Where do they get the salt from, and who pays for it?
All right, I'll hang up and we'll let him answer that. But I think the city, the other little communities are the ones running short. I think we've been in pretty good shape.
Yes, we have. We're in excellent shape of salt this year. One thing we do in the city of Cincinnati is that we buy salt. Once we get down to 5,000 tons of usage, we go out and purchase additional tons. Part of the areas that we look in salt is that what happens is in major storms is that when you have icing conditions at night, we're responsible for. You have the black ice, so that increases our usage. So when you have storms, just your 3 inches, 1 inch ice, so that creates a more use for salt. So that's where your salt really comes from. This last snow was basically snow. So basically you get into pushing the snow instead of putting down a lot of salt. Salt really doesn't work in this environment. You just push your salt to the edge of the road instead of putting it on the road.
Now, where does the city, as far as the interstates go, a lot of people think the city is responsible for the interstate, but you're not responsible for 71 and 75. That comes from the Ohio Department of Transportation, correct?
Correct. That's the Department of Transportation. They're responsible for the interstates, 71, 75, and 74.
Mm-hmm. All right, but you take care of the streets like Reading Road.
Correct.
As long as they're in the city limits, you go up to the city line and And
Yeah, we do all the 52 communities within the city of Cincinnati.
now, what about the beet juice? How did that work out? Are you going to continue to use that, or was there a big difference?
Yes, we're going to continue to use the beet juice, and the beet juice works real well when you get down to sub-zero temperatures. This last incident, we didn't use a good amount of beet juice because the temperature stayed above 28.7 degrees. So when it gets down but cold, we pre-treat the streets with beet juice.
Now, as far as the weather goes, who do you weather report you depend on? Do you depend on the TV weathermen, or do you call the National Weather Service to get your weather reports to let you know whether you should call in people to work overtime, spend a lot of money, or what? Because they've had a lot of false alarms this year, and how do you judge on when you're going to call extra people in to work?
What we do is we look at a whole host of weather reports. Any day we'll look at anywhere from each storm from 5 to 6 weather reports. So we basically have one Maryland Treadle that gives a report on a daily basis to tell us where we are, when the event's going to start. So we look at all the weather reports from the National Weather Service, AccuWeather, Weather.com, Channel 19, 5, 6.
All right, we've got some photographs to show you, but we'll show you. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll show you the photographs we've got, and we'll talk to people who are on hold. And the only lines available now are the 651-3838 number, 651-3838. You can get on that line, and we'll come back and answer your questions in a moment, right here. And we are back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. Andrew Glenn is my guest, Director of Public Services for the City of Cincinnati. And he comes from what, Richmond?
Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia, okay. All right, now we've got some photographs to show. Let's put up something here. What do we have here? What do we have? Okay, is that the last snow, or when is it?
Yes, that's the previous snow. This is where we're actually pushing out of downtown and rolling the snow so we can lift it out.
Yeah, and you had to haul a lot of snow out of downtown, and that costs a lot of extra money.
Yeah, we had about 50 crews downtown divided into about 4 sections, and this is where we actually loaded into our dump trucks and taken to a haul site.
Now, and this is the haul site, I guess?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We had about 400 tons of snow that's removed there, about 8,000 cubic yards of snow. That's over in our section. This is another picture of us actually windrowing it so we can actually haul it out of downtown.
That's right down where I work. That's Centennial, looks like.
Correct. This is where we're piling it up, waiting on the dump trucks to load it up.
Okay. Because if you had not hauled that snow away, that would have been tough for the citizens to walk around and maneuver around downtown, huh?
The policy is that we haul out the snow when you get close to 6 inches. Mm-hmm. There's nowhere actually to push the snow in the downtown districts. So in order to make it passable, we have to actually haul it out of the downtown district because you haul it into the sidewalks.
Okay.
This is an example where we finished up the storm and we basically got it down to running water. We had an all-hands-on-decks approach where we had about 4 city departments as a collaborative effort between MSD, Waterworks, Parks and Recs, Public Services, DOTE, and Fleet Services. Everyone was involved in this snow removal in downtown.
And it's always important to get your car off the street when there's a snow emergency.
Definitely.
Because a prime example right here, you can get blocked in there, and it can take you forever to get out.
This is an example where we asked people to move off our snow routes, and we actually towed about 95 cars.
Wow.
And gave out about 75 citations by the police department.
Wow.
We've asked people to remove the snow, remove their cars.
Gee.
This is an example of us pre-treating the streets with a brine in order to get the streets running, where areas that have ice and so forth build up, and maybe a little combination of beet juice to actually cut into the ice.
All right, let's go to the telephones. The only lines available now, 651-3838, 651-3838. Let's start things off with Darlene. Darlene, how are you?
Hi, Lincoln. Good morning. I had a question for your guest. I understand, you know, that you have to hit the major roads during the snow emergencies, but is there any way you all could work with Metro and getting the streets that Metro hit? Because we have a problem for us bus riders as, you know, getting to work because of the buses on detour. Is there any way you could work with Metro on hitting some of their routes, you know, to help, you know, the commuters get to work on time?
All right, hang up, and we'll give you the answer.
Yes. In our snow planning process, in the next year, we're going to work with Metro to develop a overlay of their snow routes, so we have it available that we can work with them to get their routes open also, in addition to the hospital routes.
All right, 513-381-3838, 651-3838. Let's go to Karen. Karen, how are you?
Fine. Good morning, Lincoln, and to your guests. For years, why is it that the segment of Reading Road, Roselawn, all the way to the Avondale area is the last road that you hit to clear away the snow from a major road that people commute to and from work? And we go up to Reading Road, Sharonville, and all of those roads are clear. But like 6 in the morning or 7, we can't have a clean street.
You're talking about maybe from Seymour all the way down to Summit?
No, I'm talking from Reading Road, from Roselawn, all the way to Avondale.
Okay, okay.
Why is it that they're always the last to be hit, and that is a major road for hospitals, people to commute, and those areas that are black communities are the very last to be hit, and that is wrong. Every year it's like that.
Thanks for your call. I know you hear that a lot. The black communities are always the last ones they hit.
No, we're into service excellence. We have our trucks running all over the city. We do not selectively where we go. We make sure we do the priority ones, and these are our major roads that we focus on, the priority run roads.
And you guys don't sit in a room and say, okay, we're going to hit Hyde Park first when the snow falls. We're going to make sure the rich folks in Hyde Park have their streets clean before we go over to Avondale. You don't sit in a room and say that.
No, sir. We sit in a room basically and put the priority one roads in, and we work through them.
All right, let's go back to the telephones, 381-3838, 651-3838. Candyman, how are you?
Hey, Lincoln, how you doing?
Pretty good.
I got a quick question. When the snow comes, the plow usually turns towards the sidewalk part of the street. Is it possible for them to turn the snow towards the inside of the street where it would also create a barrier between, you know, the roads? Like if you're going up Gilbert or coming down Gilbert, if the barrier or the blade is turned towards the inside lane, it will keep the, you know, because they block your cars there. When they come down, you got to dig your car out when the plow comes through. If they turn that blade towards the inside, then it would create a barrier between the snows and the lanes. And, you know, is that possible?
All right, thanks for your call. I don't know if that's possible. Now, I see what he's saying.
By Gilbert being a major road, we've always, during the snowstorm, we've asked people to move their cars off the street much as possible. Find additional parking lots or places where you can move your cars, because when it's a heavy snow like this last one, you're eventually going to be blocked in by the plows.
Yeah, and you should, I mean, but sometimes people just don't have any place to park because they don't have a driveway, they live in an apartment, and they have to park on the street. So they're pretty much stuck. I guess the best thing to do, I don't know, what is the best thing to do in a case like that? What do you do if you don't have anywhere to park your car?
Some of the best things to do is after the snow, before the snow, you move your car when you find out the truck's going to come through, and then you move them back, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, I guess you could, you know, sort of watch out for the truck and then just go out there, move your car, and make way for the truck. 381-3838. Myra, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. That you almost answered my question. That was the question I was going to ask was the people that don't have a parking space. I mean, where are these cars to go to? And I know that we have plenty of parking lots. My thing is that could the city come up with a solution that when we do have bad snowfalls, that if there's a plan put in action where the people that operate the parking facilities, parking garages or whatever that are close, like downtown or wherever, that it could be something that they, when there is a large amount of snow, like we had this last time,
they could go and take their cars there and park them
right,
there.
you know, and I mean, you know, that they could park their cars there, but it would also help the city, you know, like they would have to pay a large amount of money for that parking facility, but, you know, like say, you know, well, the people that can't park, you know, these facilities are available, you know, you can park here, you know, for the snow removal will be $5 charge or whatever, but so these people will not be getting tickets for, you know, cars not to be moved, you know, when there's really no place to put them. You know, you can't say, well, my car has to be moved, I'll pick it up and put it in my house, you know, you can't do that, so.
I hear you. Hey, thanks for your call. Yeah, what is the answer to that? How do you, I mean, if you, especially up around the Walnut Hills area, some of those streets, is just no place to park, but not all of those streets are snow emergency streets.
Correct.
So they can leave their cars there, they just have to dig it out.
What we look for, I think it's an excellent suggestion. We might look with some of the parking places around the city, and we'll take that into our planning process next year to see where additional parking places can be provided for people who on-street parking.
Now, I understand your budget is not really, was not geared for the amount of snowfall we had this year, and the city manager says maybe we should increase the budget for public services because they're looking at it as Cincinnati being a city for mild snowfall, and maybe they should upgrade that. How you feel about that?
This year, when we had a record snowfall, we always had about 26 inches of snow. Mm-hmm. Basically, we had about 13 events of snow. This last one was 10.7 inches of snow, and it required a lot more manpower, salt, equipment, and so forth. We're looking at our budget to find out where we can find the funds to fund this process. Yeah, because one more snowfall like we had, and it's really going to tear into your budget. I mean, gee. But I think the city manager recognizes the problem, so maybe they'll take care of you next year during the budget process. Yes, sir.
All right, let's move along. Let's go to Tabitha. Tabitha, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How you doing?
Pretty good.
I just wanted to say the lady called earlier and said that Redden Road wasn't hit. This is my first year driving in the snow, and I think they did a great job because I wasn't going to go out because of the roads, and I live in Avondale, just about a block from Redden Road, and I think they did a great job about getting the streets clear, so I don't see any problem with that. I saw the salt trucks. The streets was clear. I didn't have a problem getting out where I stay at. So I think they did a great job for me to be my first year driving in the snow.
All right. Hey, Tabitha, I'm sure you want to thank Tabitha for that. You don't hear too many compliments in your business.
Yes.
Thanks for your call, Tabitha.
Thank you.
All right. Now, what about, of course, you handle the garbage collection. You handle that. What's the deal on if someone buys a new refrigerator and they want to sit the old one out? How does that work? What do they do? Call the city, you come out and pick it up? What
Correct.
Happens with that?
You call 591-6000 and they'll put it into their database and pass it on to the trash collectors and make sure it's collected. That's a part of our metals collection.
Mm-hmm. Furniture and things like that?
Correct.
Okay.
591-6000.
All right. Let's move along. Let's go to Michael. Michael, good morning. How are you?
How you doing, Lincoln?
Okay.
My call is to, on how you doing, Mr. Glenn?
Morning.
I wanted to commend you on your cleanup throughout the snow. I've been here for 51 years, and you guys did an awesome job. And I also wanted to commend you guys on your trash collection because they never get the props that they need. These guys do a great job, and nobody ever recognizes them. I just want to say, right on, man. You do a good job.
All right. Hey, thanks for your call.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
All right, 381-3838, 651-3838. If you've got a question on any of the city services as far as snow removal, garbage collection, the call center. What about if people, there's a lot of houses that are empty, boarded up, and if someone thinks maybe some squatters are there moving in when they don't, do you guys handle those calls also?
Yes, you can call 591-6000. They'll be turned over to the building inspection unit of the city.
All right, let's go to Anthony. Anthony, good morning.
Good morning, Lincoln Ware. How are you, and how's Mr. Glenn?
Good morning.
Good morning. The reason why I called is I wanted to compliment Mr. Glenn and the fellow public workers for their job. I wanted to compliment you, Lincoln Ware, because I understand you just recently received an award as an announcer here in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you.
I also wanted to chime in with Tabitha and Michael on what they said. You went down to the city proper and you moved snow and took it to a vacant lot and all like that. And you did a wonderful job, and kudos to you and all of you, because, like they said, people aren't giving you the compliments that you deserve. And these individuals that want free parking and all like that for snow emergencies, I mean, you can't please everyone, and that's ridiculous. Everybody needs their money. You're going to have empty garages that just let people park their car for free. So I just want to compliment you and thank you for all your work. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for your call. Appreciate it. All right, we need to take a quick break, and we'll come back, and I promise you we'll get to all the calls. Joanne, Gwen, Lenore, and others who are holding on. 513-381-3838, 651-3838. There we go. 651-3838. Back in a moment. And we are back. Lincoln Ware Live is the program, and we've got our good friend, Mr. Glenn, with us, Andrew Glenn, with us this morning, head of the Cincinnati, I want to say public works, but it's public service.
Correct.
Yeah, you want to say public. It used to be called public works, right?
Correct.
But they changed it to public service, and that's what they're doing, a public service for you by removing the snow, collecting the garbage, and filling those potholes that you can really mess up your car when you hit them. How do you go about where to, fill the potholes, which ones to get to? People call in and tell you where they are. Do you have somebody driving around looking for potholes or what?
Currently, we're running 7-day shifts on potholes. We call it a pothole blitz. We're running night crews and we're running weekend crews on potholes. We're asking citizens to report their potholes to 591-6000, and we'll put them in our process and get to them as soon as possible.
All right. So you got guys working 24/7 filling potholes.
Yes, we have a team approach in the Department of Public Service, and we believe in service excellence.
All right. Every line is busy, and this switchboard is lit up like a Christmas tree. You're a popular man, Andrew Glenn. Let's go to Lenore. Okay. Lenore, how are you?
Hi, Mr. Ware and Mr. Glenn. Wonderful day today. Nice talking to you. Listen, I live out here in Cumminsville, and out here I miss days of work. I could not get out at all. They never came on the street. I had to pray.
What street is that?
On Llewellyn Avenue. I live on Llewellyn Avenue. They never came over
Llewellyn,
here.
that's a pretty big, that's not a small street hidden somewhere on a cul-de-sac. So, that's
it's
pretty,
right off of Elmore.
Yeah, that's a pretty good street there.
Yes, and we were snowed in. It was terrible. I work at Kroger's. I couldn't even get to my job. And I thought that was real bad. They never came over here.
They never came? And for how many days?
They never came over here. It was terrible. I couldn't get out. And nobody over here could get out.
Well, write that number down. What should she do in a case like that? Call. I guess she could call, but...
If you have a neighborhood that's being missed, you need to call 591-6000, and we divert a crew over to that area to make sure the streets are open.
And I wanted to say one more thing. For the garbage cans and for the garbage people, when they come over here, they throw our garbage cans just any kind of way. I've had to go all the way down the street and get my garbage can. It's terrible.
Well, a lot of times wind blows those garbage cans.
No. The wind didn't blow it because I saw them. They threw them. And then they tear up your garbage cans. How can I? I'm a widow. I can't pay. I can't go out here and keep on paying and buying garbage cans. They should put our garbage cans the same way they put in these other neighborhoods. Set them up there. It don't take but a few minutes. And then put our lids on top of the ledge, Don't just throw them.
All right.
Thank you, and you have a wonderful day.
Thanks for your call. Now, when people have complaints about their garbage collection, they call the same number.
Call 591-6000, and we'll send the solid waste out division to make sure they're providing service.
All right, let's see. I believe Gwen is up next. Gwen, how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning, Lincoln Ware, Mr. Glenn.
Morning.
Good morning. I like to call to compliment the city of Cincinnati. I think they did a beautiful job in clearing the snow away. I do live in the Madisonville area, and all the side streets were clear. For the past 3 to 4 years, the streets have been really nice, and I'm one that don't like to drive out in the snow, so it has been wonderful, and I'd like to commend them for that.
All right. Hey, thanks for your call.
You're more than welcome. Have a great day.
All right. Let's go to Patricia. Patricia, you have a question?
Yes, I just want to say that y'all are doing a great job for me. I stay down in the West End, and y'all have been working on the streets and stuff. Y'all been doing a pretty good job because I stay on McMicken and Mohawk. And for the garbage cans, yes, they do blow. The wind blows the garbage cans. And then basically, y'all don't have time if y'all trying to do a day's work to be worried about putting no lids on the garbage cans. It's just basically as long as we get the trash picked up anyway.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for your call. I tell you what, I've done this stuff for years and years. I've never heard so many compliments come in from people in the city on the public service department. I've never heard that many compliments. So you must be doing a hell of a job over there.
Thank you. A part of our city manager's philosophy is service excellence and investment in neighborhood. Public service is investment in your neighborhood, removing the trash, debris, removing the snow, fixing potholes, and any service levels that we provide to the city.
I tell you what, you must be doing a great job because you're going to hear some negative calls, but you never get that many compliments from people who are dependent on the city services to move around the city and do things like that. So hats off to you and your workers there. They must be doing a heck of a job. Let's go to Alan. Alan, good morning. How are you? Alan.
Hello. Yes. Are you there?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to talk to Mr. Glenn. As far as the snow removal, I'm in the Hartwell area, and they do salt the streets very well, but I have a little flip-flop on the trash collection.
Okay.
We have 2 females to pick up the trash, and they do a very excellent job. They put the cans back, but when you have the male guys picking up the trash, they throw the trash in the back of the truck, and whatever hits the road, they leave it, and they don't care. I'm on, like, the DeCamp, Anthony Wayne area. But when you have your 2 females picking up the trash collection, they're very considerate.
Right, if some trash happens to fall out, they'll pick it on up and put it in the
female workers. The female workers will take the time to do it.
Pretty much how things happen around the house. The women pick up the stuff, the guys just leave it around.
Well, the guys, they'll stand on it and walk on it and just leave it there, and they don't care.
All right, thanks for your call. And I guess you guys have meetings and tell people, you know.
Part of our process now, we have meetings before our snowstorms. We have meetings with our trash crews, and we push the team approach and improve our service levels. We're always looking to do 100% or better in our service levels.
All right, let's go to Barbara. Barbara, good morning.
Good morning to you both. My concern is, like someone else said, as far as the trash, they don't close the lid once they empty it, and if it's raining, it gets full of water. Also, secondly, the potholes on the parkway, like Central Parkway going towards Reading Road, is really horrible.
No.
But other than that, you all did a beautiful job as far as the snow, and I do live on a residential area.
All right, Barbara, thanks for your call.
Thank you both.
All right, so yeah, maybe Central Parkway up near where the courthouse and I guess all that area, I guess they're complaining about potholes there. And you can call that number. What's that number again?
591-6000.
591-6000. And we've got more calls and not a whole lot of time left, so we'll get to the calls right away. Charles, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you both?
Pretty good.
I'd like to ask you a two-part question. One, when you have furniture to put out and stuff like that from empty apartment buildings, what do you do? And then second part question is about the potholes on the highway, like 71 North and 75 North. Who controls that? You or the highway patrol? That's my question. I turn off and listen to you.
Okay, thanks for your call. Now, he was saying if you see, you know, how sometimes somebody's moving and something to blow off their truck, and they'll maybe go pick it up, put it to the side, not even, it's torn up, and they'll just leave it on the side on 75. Are you responsible for picking that up if it's on 75 in the city limits, or is that
That's
ODOT?
The Department,
Okay.
Ohio Department of Transportation.
Okay.
But we do have emergency services calls where we have stuff that's falling in the city streets. That's a 24-hour service that it calls in to 5916000, and we'll send someone out to remove it to create a safety hazard.
Yeah, okay. And what about animals? You see deer and things like that when they get hit, and can they call you and you'll call someone else and
You can
send them
call
out?
that 5916000. It's a 24-hour service. We have someone out there to remove the dead animals within 24 hours or less.
All right. Let's move along. Let's go to, I think, Boyd is up next. Boyd, how are you?
I'm fine, yourself?
Good.
Good morning to both of y'all. I have a question for Mr. Daniel there. What about the tire situation we have here? I see a lot of used tires thrown in vacant lots. Can the city get some kind of program going together where they come and collect the tires, have them recycled somewhere? Because mosquitoes get in them in the summertime and it causes a problem. And they're everywhere in the city. People just throw them over in vacant lots and just leave them.
Well, I guess if they call 5916000,
And we
give
will
the address where the
and
tires
we
are.
address where they are, and we get the inspector to come out and have the property owner remove the tires.
And that 5916000 number is pretty much a magical number. I mean, things that you want to happen, you call that number, and you'll pretty much make things happen by calling that number.
It is a very good tool that the city has, and go back and track any kind of call that comes in. It reviews them, actually tell us what district it's in, what community it is, who picked it up. Also, it's a tool to evaluate our performance.
Okay, so if somebody called on a Monday and the problem's still not resolved by that next Monday, you can track that and say maybe the person who answered the call didn't forward it to the right people and things like that?
Or the person that's supposed to go back and remove the call did not remove the call of the trash.
Okay. Let's go to Lynn. Lynn, how are you?
Yes, good morning to both of y'all. I'd like to congratulate you on cleaning the streets and keeping them clean. I live in East Walnut Hills on a dead-end street, and it was clean. The salt truck come down at least twice when they're working. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for your call. Let's go to Trish, or that's Tish. How are you?
How are you, Lincoln, this morning?
Good.
I also, too, want to compliment the city for keeping the streets clean. They did a wonderful job. What I also want to say is people of Cincinnati have to understand when you have snow coming down constantly on a 2-day, they have to be patient. The city can only do what they can do. So I also, too, want to reprimand the city for doing a wonderful job, and thank you.
Hey, thanks for your call. Let's see, we got a few more minutes. Regina, real quick.
Yes, I just wanted to thank your guest as well. I live in Westwood, and I live near McBreen, which is a hill. And I've been over in this area since '04, and the city is always good about coming out, getting salt. We have salt containers out here. They make sure those are clean. They need some tops on them now because the children in the community, I don't know what they do with them, but they need to have the tops so they can be attached onto the barrel so water won't get in them. But I wanted to thank him. And could they get a look at all the potholes out there near Procter & Gamble, that end of Spring Grove? It's a mess.
All right.
All right, thank you. Keep up the good work.
Thanks for your call. Now, I did see on the news where there was a street over in Clifton. It was a steep hill, and the students over at UC begged the guy not to plow the street so they could ski. Did you hear about that?
Yes, sir.
What happened with that? Did the guy get in trouble for not plowing the street or what?
No, sir. What we do is remove all the snow off the hills. When we get in the hills of the snowpack, we use a combination of beet juice, what we call geo-melt, and we cut it down where we can actually go in and use the plow to remove the snow. We can't create any kind of hazard in the streets.
Right, right. These guys, you saw that news story. I hope this guy does not get in trouble if he didn't, remove the snow and let these kids ski. Let's go to Tracy. No, that's Rose. Rose, real quick.
Hello, Lincoln. I just wanted to know, is it mandatory that everyone has a garbage top on their trash can?
Okay, hang up and listen to the answer. Do you have to have a top on the garbage can?
No, you do not. You just have to put out your bags and keep it inside the trash can.
Now, will the city ever adopt a policy where everybody will have to have the same type of can, like the Rumpke people out in the suburbs?
Currently, we are looking at an automated system. We're looking at the process of looking at automation where we have a cleaner city. That's one of our goals, is that we issue trash cans in the near future, but it is at a cost to give you all those green cans, either brown cans for the city of Cincinnati. It does present a cleaner city when you have these big 90-gallon cans out there you can remove, and then also the efficiencies come with where you have a truck that goes by and pick them up.
And the driver don't even have to get out.
Yes.
In some cases.
Correct.
Okay. Well, Andrew Glenn, it's been a pleasure having you on the show today. Looks like people are happy with the work that you're doing. So I want to commend you. City managers should be proud of the Public Service Department of the city because it looks like you guys are doing an excellent job.
Thank you. We have a team approach.
Coming on the show. You have a team approach. Keep that team approach going. And thank you for joining. We'll have to have you back again sometime.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's take a break, and we'll come back and wrap things up on Lincoln Ware Live. Once again, thanks to Andrew Glenn, Director of the Public Service Department for the City of Cincinnati. 561? 591-6000. That's the magic number to call for city services. Back in a moment. And we are back live. Lincoln Ware Live is the program. Coming up at noon today, right here on It's 38, The Line. And then that'll be followed by Tangerine Dream. That's all starting at noon today on Channel 38. If you want to see a rebroadcast of this show, tonight at 8 o'clock, WOTH, Channel 25. That's tonight, 8 o'clock. And this show will be followed by Treasure in the Hood. Not the Hood, but Treasure in the Hood. And that should be a great movie at 9 o'clock tonight on Channel 25. Don't forget, check me out Monday through Friday from 10 till 2 on 1230, The Buzz of Cincinnati. We talk religion, drugs, sex, politics. In other words, your life. That's Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 on 1230, The Buzz. We'll be back next Sunday morning right here at 10 o'clock. On It's 38. Don't forget, you can look online at WBQC.com, WBQC.com, and see all of the shows in the past that we've had on Lincoln Ware Live. You can look at them on your computer at WBQC.com. That's going to wrap it up. Till next week. We'll see you then.